Life is a garden and we are all gardeners. We have a fabulous guest today. We are going to dig deep. We are going to hear juicy tidbits, plant seeds, and just dig in. So I hope that you'll join us. Come on in and listen to what we got to say. So we're going to take this conversation from outside and we're going to move it inside. Two reasons. One, because it's sort of an inside-outside subject, and two, because it's raining outside. And today, my topic is going to be heaven on earth. And there's a saying in the Bible that says, as it is above, so shall it be below. Or something along those lines. And I feel like that's where we kind of are, because there is life above, and then there's this life. In this life, I am a garden designer, and I'm always planting things. But I'm a total believer in past lives and in people from your past that have passed coming forward. My mom passed away like 21 years ago. She liked nature and beauty like I do. We had that really in common. So every time I see things like a ladybug or a butterfly, I have taught my children that that's my mom. And so we believe that. And because, like I said, I'm such a believer, that's where it all comes from. I'm a believer in spirit, and I'm spiritual. So today I was lucky enough to invite my girlfriend, who is a psychic medium and a spiritual teacher. She too is a student of Kabbalah like I am, and we both believe in all kinds of things from past and present. Only I work on this level, plane, and she works with this level. So I'm happy to introduce Orly to you today, and we're going to talk about heaven on earth. So I came up with a few questions, but first, Orly is going to tell you what it is to be a psychic medium and what it is to talk to dead people. Okay, so tell us.
Well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here, Alicia. I'm so happy that this connection of, like you're saying, heaven and earth and the spiritual and the physical, because when they join together, it's just, that's the divine, like in the human form, and that's when all the magic happens.
Goosebumps.
So I'm just really excited about that, because I think overall that's what I am looking to do always, is when I'm able to connect my divine self or the spiritual part of me with living here physically on earth. That's like the alignment, or all that
Flow,
yes, the flow. So yeah, I'm a psychic medium, but that came to me later in life, like having this knowing or realization that, oh my gosh, like this is a part of me that I've always had but didn't realize. I also believe that every single one of us has this ability. We just have forgotten how to connect. And
wait, where did we know it from?
Just from our previous lives.
Okay.
And like coming into this soul.
Love that.
Into like this body. It's like just this forgetting. But I know, for instance, for me as a kid, is that I always had this knowing, and that's where my question is, like, did you feel this as a kid? This feeling that there's more to life, mm-hmm. right? Than there's more to life than meets the eye. There's like something more. I don't know. For me, I always ask questions. So it could be that, yes, perhaps this ability has grown and it is what it is. But again, I do believe that we all have the ability to connect with God, the universe.
100%.
Yeah.
I totally do. And I just want to say that when I was little, my mom and dad used to call me a witch. And I never liked that word because I was thinking like hairy pustule. And they never meant that. What they really meant is what you're talking about, because right. I didn't know what it was, but I too was curious about things that many people don't even know to be curious about. You know, I don't even know how I was curious about that.
Yeah.
So tell me how it started.
Well, for me, I mean, just from that point, just being a curious kid and like asking questions, right? And always curious about, I was just always asking big questions. I used to dream a lot about flying. I have certain dreams that I remember. And then when I was 9, you know, I realized that I was watching this movie and realized in the movie they're like that people die. I was like, what? People die? And my heart knew. I was like, no, we don't. We don't die. And it was like I had to go to my mom. She had to calm me down. 3 nights I didn't sleep. So there are events in my life which kind of there was a knowing inside, but I kept like pushing it aside because we are living in reality. People physically do die, like your body does die, you know, and that kind of inside of me, you know, the knowing as opposed to what my heart knows to be true. And then my dad died, and that's when it all kind of like I was.
But
like,
wait, what did you think? Like, why were you not believing in death? What were you thinking?
I don't know. I just knew. I was like, no, we don't. I knew that there was like that we live forever. But I don't know if that is just the kids who believe that or think that. If
Do you still believe that?
Well, yeah, now I know that we do. But now I
Okay.
know. Now it's, I mean, then it was a knowing too. I think the child in me and then this part of me that like it has come back together or it has
So
come
cool.
back home, right? To this belief, but now it's like based in
So
facts
tell me
and,
what
like,
happened when your father passed away.
when he died, there were just a lot of coincidences and weird things happening. He told my sister that if there's something beyond this world, that he would let us know. Because he was all into quantum physics after he, like in his later years. And he was also an investigator, my dad. So it's not a coincidence, I think, that I chose him because he was his whole life. I mean, that's what he was like in the intelligence. He was like, you know, a detective in his early. So he was always looking for answers as well.
Wow.
And so when he passed, I was in the week of mourning, Shiva, and I mean, I can tell the little stories, but the big thing happened when I was sitting in his room on his bed. I was in a very meditative state. I was really sad, obviously, because he'd passed. And then I all of a sudden started feeling mostly, but like feeling like I'm hearing him or getting information. Like, and it was very quick. And I was like, is this you? And I had asked out loud also. That's one of the ways we can start communicating is I was like, if you're here, I want to know that you're here because I was already feeling him. Like the first thing we came through the door right after the funeral, everyone came into the house, everyone sat down, and there was a huge boom in the house, like this electrical outage. Like it was like boom, all the lights went out and on again. I was like, what was that? It was huge. I was like, what was that? It was weird. It was definitely not something normal. I was like, okay. So it was that and a couple of other things that had happened coming up to the funeral and then after. So then when I was sitting in his room and I was feeling all these things, I was like, okay, this is definitely. And then it felt like just understanding the way they communicate with us. And I was like, I asked him, like, if you're really here, show me something I don't know. Like, prove to me that this is real, that I'm actually talking to you because this is freaky. I also called my sister and was like, I don't know. I think like I'm talking to Abba and I know you, this is, but when I asked him and I was given, I mean, I can go into this, Alicia. I don't know how much
Yes,
time,
no, I want you to
but-
give us this.
Okay, so I was like, if this is real, because what he had shown me was like, I was feeling like a butterfly. I have a butterfly tattoo that I got with him when I was 18 years old. So he was showing me the butterfly. Like, this is what I was feeling in the moment, in the beginning. I was like, he was showing me a butterfly. I was seeing it in my mind's eye.
What, the butterfly?
Yes, I was seeing the image in my mind's eye, but he was telling me, he was talking to me. I was just hearing. I was hearing, feeling, and sensing. All of my senses were elevated. So basically, they speak to us through our sixth sense, right? Which is,
Right.
I can go into that too. But basically, I was feeling this. He was showing me the butterflies, if that was the sign from him that it's him, because it was a tattoo that I went with him at 18. So he was signaling all these things. And then I was like, well, if I'm really talking to you right now, show me something I don't know. So he was telling me, go to the second drawer in my, there was like, drawers there. He's like, go to the second drawer. And I was seeing in my mind's eye, again, he was showing me an image of my brother. I was seeing my brother and this yellow plastic folder thing. So I was like, okay, I have no idea what that is. So I go to this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to the second drawer, and I'm talking out loud, literally sitting in the room.
But he's in your head talking.
He's in my head. Yes, I'm hearing, but it doesn't feel like my own thoughts, and it feels like an external thought. It's not me. It's not me. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel like me. It's not my own thoughts. You know how you have thoughts, right? So I go to the second drawer, I open the drawer, and I find under, so I'm looking, and then all of a sudden I notice a yellow plastic folder, little passport book with my brother's picture in it. So I was like, okay, it's yellow, it's a plastic. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I had no idea it was there. And then obviously my mind goes like, maybe I saw this already. Like, I must have opened the drawer. My subconscious mind, I knew it was there. But on the other hand, I was like, I was shown these two images. But maybe I knew that before. Again, like, I could even now be like, maybe you saw it before. But no, it started to be, where I started trusting the information, and then shared with the family. Other weird things happen. And then I just started opening up a little more, and realizing that, okay, this is how they communicate. I was like, why isn't everybody doing this?
It's so
like,
crazy.
Why isn't everyone understanding the language of spirit? And that's where it's come to this point of me wanting to, like, really try to help everyone decipher and learn how to understand it. Because it's so... We all get goosebumps.
I mean, I have them right now.
We all get these feelings. It's just the connection of knowing that it's actually messages that are trying to be relayed to you from a higher source, and it's not just you thinking, It is like your higher... I mean, there's a few layers to it, but when it is actual spirit and our loved ones, they're very clear. They will relay, and they will nudge you until you get it. Like,
wow.
So
is that, I mean, I have a few questions that I want to ask, but what I really want to know is that something that came to you? And if it didn't come to me, can I get that? Like, it's, I believe I do see my mom. I smell her. She's the only person I let smoke in here. A, because I have no choice. She's dead 20 years. And B, because I want her to be around me. Right. I hate cigarettes, but I know it's her when she comes, But you can talk to my mom and Zach's mom and Dana's. I mean, so how can I do that?
Right. Well, I would say the first thing is first learn to communicate with your family, right? Because for each of us, our senses are different. So we're each unique, right? We all vibrate at a different, like, frequency level. Like, you're energetic, I'm more mellow. And because of that, because I'm made up of a unique DNA or information, I will sense things differently.
Right.
So for me, like, the clear audience, like, I can hear, for me it comes in all senses. For you, I could definitely already know that, like, you have a really strong sense of smell. Also working in the garden, like flowers, I'm sure.
And
it's
I
like
do. Smell things.
Yeah, like
smell my dad's perfume.
Right. So and the fact that you're already smelling that, and you're already making the connection, oh, my dad's here, oh, my mom is here. You already have done that. So you're already communicating. Right. How do you then communicate with others? You just open yourself up even more. It's like you let go of ego. This is a big part of it, where you quiet the chatter, the place that's saying this can't be, or whatever those limiting thoughts are. Quiet that down to open yourself. It's a meditative state. So it starts with meditating. Mm-hmm. And then you start playing around with, like, if you start getting images in your mind's eye or through your sense of smell, if you're smelling something, you could, like, ask me. And just from having a conversation, like, I don't know, I'm getting this, and just explore. And then we can see that perhaps it is one of my family members trying to communicate, or whatever information that's trying to be relayed to you. But you have to explore. Like, we have to allow ourselves to explore the imagery and the things that are in my mind that we keep secret, that we don't share with others because we don't want to sound crazy.
Right.
And it's like, maybe that's actually the information, like trusting what I'm sensing in regards
trusting
to,
you're crazy.
Yes, like, I can sense certain things about you. I'm sure you sense when a person walks in the room. You can sense how they are.
Right.
What's up with that person?
Well, it's an energy too.
Right.
Of course.
We're picking up on energy, and that's exactly what it is with loved ones. It's
right.
just
I
energy,
love that. Okay, so since I'm about gardening and building beautiful spaces, I was wondering if I want to believe if you build it, they will come. So, can we all make a sacred space? Do we need a sacred space, or do we need nothing and we can call them in wherever we are in the front seat of the car?
Yeah. I think, I think you can call them in wherever you are. Sitting at home, obviously, I was in my dad's room and connected to him. But I do think there's something about nature, and we talked about this a little bit. I do think that when you're out in nature, because the information and the messaging can come through from them through animals, through, you know, animals, a certain flower that you like, just being in nature, it opens up their way of communication. I also think that like butterflies, there's something about them, right? They're like, they have this special sensory.
Right. Plus, they transform.
I know, right? So there's something energetically about a bird showing up, or a butterfly in nature showing up at a certain time. When you go outside and you like leave the comfort zone, there's something about connecting in nature for sure.
I really do love it. I have a very good friend and we're working together. And whenever we're on the phone talking, one of us, if I'm sitting inside, I'll see like a bird in the window, or she'll be like, oh my gosh, there's that big eagle coming right over my head every time you call. And it's so crazy. So, but we're both alive, you know what I mean? But that's still another sign.
Oh, totally. Like, I love that you said eagle, because eagle is huge. In Judaism, too, it's huge. And that's like, just looking up, like, I'm definitely going to look afterwards, like, the symbolism, right? Because if you pay attention to that coming through and then being like, what's the sign of eagle? Especially if it shows up again.
Right.
So you are also significant to her.
Yep.
There's something there about you representing that, but also a message wanting to be relayed. So sometimes we are deliverers of messages too for others.
And not even knowing
and
that
not
we are.
being aware of it. Yeah.
That's always a good thing to know.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I want to know if both of my parents have passed, and my bubby and my grandma and grandpa. Can I call everybody in? You know, if I wanted to have a family reunion, could I do that? Or how does that work?
Basically, when you're calling them or you want to connect with them, it's not up to us. It's they decide who's going to come through. That's why also for me, when I connect, it's like I know someone might come and want to be like, I want to talk to my grandmother. I can't promise that we can't know, because they are kind of doing their thing over there and like, no, I want to be the one who comes through, or I have the message that needs to be relayed to the person. But they can come in together, and just usually they'll take turns. They're very respectful of each other's energies, and they'll let the person
Takes them to die in order to be respectful of each other. That's so amazing.
But they're very funny too. But just like what you said, sometimes they joke like their energies from this lifetime. They'll be like, "Well, you always were the talker," or whatever. You know, like even when they.
So do you hear different voices? If it was like my mom and dad talking to you, would you hear a voice of one and they'd be different, or is it all like just messages?
It's not necessarily in their voice. It's kind of I hear my voice in a sense. It's not like, this is one of my teachers is like, it's not like you're thinking that you're going to hear like, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Frank.
Right. And a different, no, it's definitely in my voice, but you get the energy of the person. So you feel like you feel the energy. So just like you would feel if someone's, like I was saying, low energy or very vibrant or a happy person, or this was a person, they will give the sensation. So it's a feeling. So that's like clair sentience. Like you feel I just get a feeling. I get it all at once. So for me, it's like a feeling. I hear, I sense. And
I think it's just so important to get that feeling too. I mean, I get that feeling like in the garden, you know what I mean? Or if I look at something in nature that just makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
And I do feel that sometimes when I feel like my mom's in the room, or I get this feeling, this like overwhelming feeling. It's like a goosebumpy feeling, you know? Like a fabulous.
When you're in the garden, you just feel good. Like it brings you back to your happy.
It just makes me feel good. And it's very, it's where I can be my most creative actually. Wow. And so I'm like, you know, anything I want to really think about or meditate and pray on, which I love to do, I feel like I do my best a lot of times when I'm outside.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, yeah, something happens like you're just receiving so much in that space.
Totally.
It's all about receiving. Like, our brain is a receiver, basically.
Right.
We're receiving, we're like literally antennas walking around receiving information. It's just our interpretation of the information, how we interpret it, decipher it, and understand it. So.
Wow, it's just amazing. So, my next question to you is, if I would pray to my mom and dad, like, I want to work on a project that I want to happen, can I pray to my mom and dad? Can they help me get this project rolling? Am I looking, when I'm praying to them, like, oh, Mom, please make sure today that I go meet with this person and it works and I get this job or whatever? Is that what I'm supposed to be asking for? Or what am I, what's a good, like...
Yeah. Because for me, like when it first started, I would ask my dad to show me a sign, right? Show me a sign that this is the right thing to do. And they can definitely do that. They can show signs. I know that when I meditate sometimes and I talk to him, he's like, expect good things. Like they'll usually give messages of love, our family members, and they will guide us because they do see things from a different perspective.
Right.
So they can see the trajectory of things, of where you're going and perhaps the chances of you and this thing happening. I do think, though, that we do have our angels and spirit guides who are really there to guide us. So it's not like a family member can't be, but I know from my teachers too, some family members can't even make the communication because their soul hasn't, I don't know, something happens to us when we cross over, where we evolve and we all still have a journey to go on. So I feel like some of our souls, like parents, they can then sometimes they become guardian angels, or they become guides, because the spirit guides that were here were in human form before. So some of them can turn into and then definitely become a guide that totally guides you on your path. I feel like my dad is definitely a
he's
guide,
one of your
but
guides.
It's also my belief. So I think it has to do with your belief that your parent can guide you and how they were in their life here, because we choose them, I think, too. Mm-hmm. But also, like, open yourself up to talking to your actual spirit guides and the ones that do help you create. And I feel like our parents and loved ones give us the signs, tell us they're still here. They definitely see what's going on. They're definitely around us all the time. But in terms of your creation and what you want to bring to fruition, I think it's a culmination of both, but definitely more like working with God, working with your spirit guides, working with angels.
So angels and God weren't my mom and dad and my grandmother, right? My mom isn't an angel.
No.
I mean, she never was. But
No.
Let's be clear on that. But
right, angels are like are entities that are of a higher vibration, and they were never human, and they serve God, and they are here to deliver messages from God to us and from us to God. They are messengers, literal, and in the Hebrew, it's literal messengers of God. So they deliver the messages that we need to hear. They also help with healing.
So everything goes through them.
Yes.
They're the middleman.
Yes.
Okay.
Although I do think we do have a direct conversation with God if we want. And we can hear God.
Right, like I have my conversations regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, I pick up where I left off last night,
Yeah,
me
yeah.
again.
Right,
you
right.
know. But with my mom and dad, I kind of do that as well. So it's nice to be clear that angels are one thing, mom and dad are another thing. There's all kinds of stuff swirling around, right?
Yes. And I'm just opening up. I don't know why, because it started with my dad. I just immediately communicated with him. He would tell me, let me think of an example. Let me just give you one example. When I came home from my last trip to Israel, I realized that I didn't pay my car
Insurance.
DMV thing on time or something. Like I thought I did, but I didn't. And then I freaked out because I had to drive the kids, right? So I literally had 10 minutes because Roy, my husband, had to go and he was like, well, you have 10 minutes, you can do it. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get to the DMV and have 10 minutes to
3
do this.
days at the DMV.
Right? So anyway, but I felt, okay, so because I'm connected to my dad, I did ask, maybe you can help me, right? Or I don't even remember if it was God or my dad, but I definitely at first we're connecting with my dad. I go to the DMV and literally there's parking, there's no line. I'm like, what's going on? Are they closed today? Like, are they closed? So I go into the DMV and there's a police officer standing outside and this woman, and she's like with the computer because it's like digital, whatever. And she's like, hi. I'm like, is it open? She says, well, we're only accepting people who are paying for registration because our systems are down. So that's the only thing that's working. I'm like, are you serious? I walk inside. I literally 5 minutes. I pay the thing, and then she goes, "You can get your money back too," or like this whole like thing. If I don't even remember what it was. It was just crazy. I walk out of there. I get home. I'm like, "Thank you," and I immediately thanked my dad.
Right.
But I just felt like it was. So it's definitely. They can help us. Again, I don't remember the question, but I think with angels, what I was saying is that I just only now started opening up, and we're always growing and learning. So I started learning like Angel Raphael, he's healing, and like when different angels that work with you to heal certain aspects of yourself that you're working on. It's more the internal work. I feel like with, if you need help with your taking action and you're like a person it's hard to do that, like angels can help us with that. But definitely signs are our parents, just to know they're there.
I know it's so, or grandparents.
Yeah.
But it definitely starts with an open mind.
Yes.
So you can't, if you leave here or listen to this and say, I don't believe it, and then go in your room and say, come to me, grandma. It just doesn't happen like that.
Well, I still think
you're right. I shouldn't say that.
No, I still think like, okay, like just like I was like, show me if this is real, because I was such a skeptic. I mean, I believe that there's a part of me. I think there's a part of everyone that wants to believe it's true.
Me too.
So even if you're like, I do think that when you start asking and asking out loud, this is a big thing. Like ask to see a sign, be specific. You don't have to be at first, but like show me a butterfly. And then wait, forget about it. And then if 3 days later you like see the butterfly, you have to remember that you had asked for. You have to remember the thought. This is the same with like co-creation and the co-creation process. If you are aware of your thoughts, that's the beauty and magic. Because when you're aware of a thought you're having, like I want to take a yoga class, I always say this. And then 3 days later a friend says, oh my God, I took this amazing yoga class. That's not a coincidence. That's the synchronicity where it gives you your next step or the stepping stones.
So you have to remember you have
to remember the thoughts you're having. So if you're intentional, if you create a sacred space,
that's the point. Intentional,
right? If you create a space and you're intentional about what you want and what your desires are, and you write it down, and and you're aware of the thoughts that you're having every day, and they're positive and happy, and then you see that come into your existence because you're in that high vibe. That's, I think, the magic.
I think that's so awesome, and I love that because I do want to use my outdoor space only for good stuff. Like, I want that to be a holy place. I call in, I meet with my friends there. I meet with, like, good stuff there. I keep that holy, and so holy things happen out there because that's my intention. So that's so good, people, to hear that. Like, set this intention, I want to be waking up in the morning and I'm going to connect with my mom and we're going to keep it, like, holy and clean. I'm not going to go to this place where it's like, what do I have to do today? I'm all crazy. And, I make an intention to wake up feeling like, Mom, come in with me this morning and let's just set this tone so the day goes in a way.
That's so, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Good.
And even God.
Or
like,
God.
I've been learning to say, like, I expect good things today. Like, just starting my day with, like, I expect good things. Like, the fact that you're creating this beautiful energy in the garden, Alicia, is like, I mean, or just having friends over and that it's that higher vibe, but that affects everything in your life. Then everything becomes, like, good feeling. That's all we want to do.
That is all we want to do, and I want to keep it like that at all times. My whole intention for my work, for my life, for my social is to surround myself with people that think this way, as close as they can, or that are open to thinking this way and that don't get all trapped up in, the crap that's going on around us.
I just wanted to say one thing.
Please.
Like, there is a part in our brain that's called the reticular activating system, I think. Like, so there's the science, right?
Right.
And right now science is really getting really close with the spiritual. So there's the scientific evidence, or like, if you think of an elephant, then you're going to go around and you're going to see an elephant. Or like if you think of a red car, you're going to start seeing red cars. So there's a part in the brain that actually does this. But so there's the people that will say, oh, that's just the scientific part. But for me, there's also the extra magical thing. It's like where you put your attention, where your attention goes, energy flows. That's one thing.
Totally.
But it's also about seeing the extraordinary things that just happen. And I have been experiencing fully since this, it's like your awareness. There's something about your awareness of these coincidences happening where you're not just flowing life and you were thinking of that friend and then she called. It's like when you start putting that together, it becomes this like just magnificent.
Yeah, real.
Yeah, you just run into someone, you happen to learn that they have something in common, like you go, it's just like these.
It's so true. And when I think you are open to it and start noticing, like, this is so real. Like, you just talked about red cars. I saw a red car, or, just it's awesome. I think to be a believer is the first step.
Yes.
And then to build the intention that you.
And our belief will get like, that's the muscle. Like I have to continuously, it's like exercise. I have to continuously believe, trust, let go of the control, know that it's not just me. It's like I'm being guided. It's like, that's why it's like this co-creation thing happening. Lovely. And that's where like the message is like meeting you. I don't know. It's just not coincidental.
Right. None of it.
The way things, that we can let go of the idea that it's not also all in us, that God is doing this amazing thing of bringing people together in these weird circumstances that are there to deliver the messages you exactly needed to hear. And if you pick up on it, it's literally, again, picking up on the signals. Things can move very quickly in your life. You can feel happy immediately, as opposed to like struggling. Struggling through things.
I love this so much. I think it's just so important that we're talking about this and that we know this and that we all know, it's not even like a God that is up there cracking a whip. It's a different kind of God. To me, God is nature. I believe in God 100%, but I believe this is like what God is, So... and in closing, I just want you to tell us, as not, for us at the beginning, what's a good place to start? Like, and how do I get this? Like, to tell anybody, if you really want to communicate with a higher power, God, your parents, give me 3 good steps or 4 good steps to start.
Okay. First of all, it's meditation. Is finding a space to quiet your mind, to go within, meditate, whatever that is. There are different ways of meditating, and it's about you finding the thing that will make you calm, first of all, and go within and like open yourself up to, right? Asking out loud is a huge one. Ask for a sign. So if you want to start the communication, it's like, show me a sign, show me a butterfly, show me a hummingbird. I love that you said it's like, for you, God is nature, because it's literally, spirit is in everything. It's in everything, especially in nature. There's the trees, like they have energy. They speak. Totally. It's like they have messages for us. Water. I've been like fascinated right now about water, and like we're all made up of like 90% water in our body too. The earth is water. Water gives information. Totally. So it's just energy and picking up on the information. So when you're outside, you're going to see that hummingbird continuously come. You have to put 2 and 2 together and be like, why am I seeing this hummingbird 3 times? I guess that's a sign. So it's either asking for a sign or noticing if a certain bird or you keep getting this nudge to like call that friend. That's the intuition part again.
Pay attention.
Pay attention. That's the information trying to get to you. So not to close off and be like, okay, I'll do it it's like, no, pay attention to the nudges, the information that's that hummingbird that keeps showing up, and then ask, like, what are you here to signify? So after you've received this, there's one thing to ask for a sign. There's also when you feel like when you just have a feeling like this is just weird, I'm seeing this bird, don't just let it fly by. Go and look up, what is the significance of a hummingbird? Like, Google it. Like, what are the symbolisms of hummingbirds? And then see the message there it's like seeing the 111. Like, if you're seeing angel numbers all the time, what is that? It's not just oh, I'm in the right place at the right time.
Rando. It's not rando.
No, it's like there is more meaning. And when you make the connection of why you're seeing it, you're building your like the symbolism, the metaphor, the language, because that's the language of spirit.
It's so amazing. I love this so much. I just want to share one quick thing. So Orly came to visit me when after I had surgery. And so she said, I want to read you. And I was so excited. I wasn't feeling my best, but I said, okay. And she said, your dad is coming to you. And there was something about a hairbrush or a brush.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't even believe it because next to my bed, I have a body brush that you brush your skin, you know? Somebody told me you brush everything towards your heart. And the brush has this funky big head. And as soon as I got it, I said, this brush always reminds me of my dad because he used to use this old-fashioned brush that was like wood. And that's what this is. And then you said that to me, like, there's something about a brush. And then I showed you it's like right next to my bed, and it was my dad. It's just so crazy how real this is. And anyone who doesn't believe it, poor you. And anyone who does believe it, keep doing it because, you know, it's just magical. Okay, so I'm going to tell you where to reach Orly. All of her info will be on our chat. But what I want to know is, like, what's your plan to do with all this magical goodness that you have?
Well, now it's like my journey has kind of like shifted. Like I feel like it feels really good to do this. I don't know. I feel like this is who I am. I don't have to be shy about it. It's like it was a closed part of me that I kept very, you know, quiet. And so I just want to.
Were you afraid of it or were you ashamed of it?
I was ashamed what people would think. I was afraid what people would think of me, that I'm crazy, that I also had an experience 20 years ago. That's a long story. But like, because I always used to like, this is another one, by the way, like open a book, randomly see the sentence that comes to you. Like, there's a message there.
Right.
It's like going in a library, people often say like the book just fell off the shelf. And,
right.
But I was always that kid who was like looking for signs
right.
or... Well, and once I realized that, oh my gosh, this is actually how things are and they work and we can allow ourselves to be open to it. So yeah, I just want to continue if I can connect to people's loved ones and I mean, that's what I would love and what I'm doing right now. It just makes me feel good, but it also, I know how beautiful it is to connect people with their loved ones, and especially with people who've lost someone early, or if I can bring them that comfort of knowing that there is something more here than life than meets the eye, right?
Or unanswered question, maybe.
Yeah, and that's the thing, all the answers are within us. Right. It's not like I can, you know, psychic mediums, it's a whole thing of like, you know, we can be our own guides, but obviously, yes, so maybe there is... Like, we each have our gifts. You're, like, incredible. You know, we each have our own gifts. If this is the gift for me to be able to connect with others, not just with my other, then I just want to be able to be of service. It just makes me feel...
I think that's so amazing. So I think if we build it, if we plant it, it will grow. And so on that note, I just want to say, let's keep planting all these good things, these good thoughts, these good, you know, messages. Let's be open to what grows from it. Let's water it. Let's nurture it. And let's just keep talking to this part and let it grow up and away. Okay, that'll do it for today. It's Heaven on Earth with Alicia and Orly and Frankus too. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want my friend to come in and ask some questions, too. So let's regroup on that, too. Okay. We're going to ask a question. Come on, think of a question you want to ask Orly. She's good. How do you want to do that? And where should we have her sit, or should we just have her off there asking?
I think that's really a question for Dana.
Yeah, I actually do have...
I knew you would. What are you kidding? So should we just take her from back there?
I will...
Not a face for...
Yeah, only because it's so emotional for me.
Okay. Do we need a microphone, though?
Yeah.
Here.
Would you like to be mic'd up?
Yeah, I think she should. Well, I want you to be able to ask. It's a question that somebody's going to need to hear,
I'm
you
going to
know?
step out for a minute and, like, take a deep breath.
Okay, good. I want you to do that. But maybe we should keep Orly's mic and move out Dana over here and turn my mic. She has to breathe because she's emotional.
If she's off, if she can speak out and sound like she's in the room.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll push my mic like that.
Okay, or I was going to say you can do that, or I can, because I'm not going to talk on this one. Dana's
Oh.
going to. You and Dana are going to.
Okay.
You know, and then we'll just figure out.
That would be okay too if you want to just.
I think we should, and then Dana, because she won't be on here. She's going to
Okay.
be crying and sad. I already see her out there crying.
Oh.
She doesn't cry either, so I know she wants this.
Okay.
She came and made it be, and she's
Okay.
dying to
But I have to open up too.
Yeah,
to...
open it up, Gail.
Okay.
Breathe and open.
But I just want to say, Alicia, like what you just said about the seed, and
Yeah.
you know how a seed doesn't see its potential,
Right.
and it grows into this like beautiful.
It's lovely.
It's just, but it's like,
Can you hear me?
No, you need to just come here. You don't have to be on it.
Okay.
If you just take another step or two closer,
Oh, because you can stand on this side and talk to this one.
or you can be over
Or
here.
here. This is fine,
Yeah,
right?
you can be
Okay,
there.
let me just.
So we'll figure out a way to introduce her.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Alicia, will you speak
don't
yours
really care.
back towards you in case you want to say something?
Yeah, because I always want to say something.
I don't know.
Love you, Zach. Okay.
Okay. So my question is, the short backstory is about my brother. Was murdered. And this is what happens every time I think about it. It's been 30 years. And so I can't figure out why. Why it's just always like it happened yesterday.
I'll just say, first of all, I'm sorry because it's a big loss. And I think when we lose something so big in our life, it's obviously very painful. It's overwhelming. It's something that we wish was still here. There's a wish that he's okay. Why did he have to go through this? Why did he have to experience this? It wasn't deserving. This is painful, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and so I know when they also come through, I mean, I would love to, this is like, so I want to relay the messages, but I can, and in this moment, just tell you that to comfort you in knowing that he's okay. And, you know, a lot of times when they do come through, they want to release that burden because it's like, it's a burden feeling, right? It's like this feeling of uneasiness, if I'm describing that right.
It's more about like just why.
Why?
That's something, by the way, that can definitely, they can give the answer. And that's where I would go in and I need to hear what they have to say. I can do it now. I don't know if that's
Yeah, I
okay.
know. You can do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
If you can do it now and you feel like you can, or
Well,
is it,
I will say maybe, and then just for comfort and privacy, I don't know, like we can also edit things later. Right?
yeah, that's
But,
true.
like,
Go for it. Let her
But
know.
like, can I ask in regards to him why he would, so what he's showing me, or this is him, and this is another thing, by the way, is that, like I said before, I can't know who's coming through, and sometimes we want the brother, right, to come through, but whoever is here is showing me this specific thing, so this could be him or someone else, but they are showing me curly hair. So I don't know, again, if what it is about why, this is the image that I'm receiving currently, it's like this person with curly hair. I don't know. And then I can expand on it and just open and see what else they want to say in regards to that. They're laughing about curly hair. So I don't know, was there, like, try to think back if for you at that time, if you had if someone had curly hair, again, the imagery is coming for a reason and they want to play with that. Just give me a second, too. Were you closer in age as well, you and your brother?
Not closer in age, but so there's myself, my brother, and I have a sister.
Okay.
So my brother and I were very close.
Okay. Give me a second. Okay. They're also showing me, I think this is probably him. I just want to know, there's also a necklace that they're bringing up. It's a specific necklace, though, that it looks like a rectangle. It could be made of gold, actually. So it would have been some kind of rectangular shape, golden necklace as well. I don't know who, this is the thing. I'll ask them to be more clear. I also didn't go into prayer at first, but it's okay. If they can be more clear on why they're showing me this. Give me a second. Okay, I think there's information here. This is my feeling that there's information here that they want to relay also in regards to your brother, which I am feeling like we can go into our own meeting in regards to this, because I think there's information here he's trying to relay for you to understand better. Something.
Yeah, we never found out.
Right. So I think he's relaying right now information, honestly, that has to do with that, which is why you're not understanding, but he's giving the information. And to me, it feels, okay, give me a second. Yeah, he's giving information. Okay, so are there questions in regards to that, in regards to the murder?
We never found out who did it.
Okay. All right, so that's definitely something I've never done, and I know there's mediums out there who will bring up information, and they actually go on investigations, right, and find right, which is another. I mean, we were just talking about my dad, who this is what he would do, right? So literally. It's like, so I will say that, but let me ask him first of all in terms of, so there's that, so there, it's like he wants to relay information for you to know things, but also. Okay, what he's saying and what I'm hearing is also that there are things, and this I know from above, that we have no control over, and but he's okay. He feels okay. It's something. It's not something. It's nothing about his soul that he did or was. Obviously, no one is deserving of it. It's nothing about that. It was like he's making me feel like a really stupid circumstance, or really. Just dumb, I don't know why he's saying that, but like dumb circumstances that brought about this thing. It was just a stupid decision making is what he's saying. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So he's saying, yeah, he's just saying that, and he's saying it was so stupid, like, I'm just like, but he's not already, it's not like he's not beating up on himself on this. I feel like it's a lesson that he learned, and sometimes we do come here to learn something or I'll say that to, we learn something, but he is making me feel like, yes, he's taking responsibility for this, whatever this decision, like he's taking full responsibility. He understands where it went wrong. He said, it was misjudgment of some kind on his part, some kind of misjudgment that he made. But he's with you all the time, and he's with the family all the time. So he doesn't feel like he's missed out on a thing. He obviously wishes that he could have been here physically with you to hug you, but just know that he's around you all of the time. He's showing me also little children. So I don't know if you have, who is the one who has this feels like a small girl.
Might be.
But, he's talking about a little child. So this is a blonde girl. I don't know who this is. So it could be someone that he's just watching over also. And this can also be friends of friends as well. I will just say, he's just
probably my daughter, because when he died, she was little.
Okay.
And blonde.
Okay.
Was she curly?
No.
Okay.
But your boy is kind of curly.
No, but this is a girl, but that makes sense what you just said. Yeah. So usually what I'll do is also we'll have conversation and we'll confirm, and I'll ask them too. So I'm just kind of like, I want to have the time, but just know that, and that makes sense too if she was younger when, yeah. Okay. He's also saying someone with an A in their name. So there's more to explore here. I just want to relay quickly to you for you to be calm, and we can talk like after. But there's a brother as well. Okay. He's talking about him. Okay. He's with you all the time, surrounding you. He's talking about a car now as well. So he has a lot to say, something about the car. So I don't know if you just, what's going on with the car. Again, we can go into this, but like, what's up with the car? Okay. So he's just mentioning it now. He's here. Just please, like, for me,
Amazing.
but he's very loving. He's definitely describing someone and information that has to do like this curly haired person. I don't know who that is, but he's describing that. For whatever reason, let me just ask him, is this you or are you referring to someone? I guess this is information about, Okay, and I don't want to go there. This is my boundary, I think, where, and that's interesting too, Alicia, in regards to what we were saying. We have to know our boundaries and what we're willing to, because I don't want to see, like, this is me as a medium. There are things that I don't want to see that are scary, or
I do too.
So I have and I'm like, okay, that's enough, and I'll tell them. I'll be like, that's it. I don't want to know more than that, because this is just not uncomfortable.
So was he willing to give you more?
Yes,
than that?
he like wants to go there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready. Which is why there are certain mediums who totally love it and like wanna and do the investigator stuff, and like they don't
I feel like
mind
it might be in your
seeing the
DNA
show.
anyway, but just
I
maybe
know,
today
right?
on
But
this
I'm
show.
like, you don't have to show me those details. Just but if it can be helpful, then of course. But I just want you to know he's with you all the time. He's talking about your parents too. So he's chatting it up a little bit more. I think for me also opening up and just allowing too is part of the process, which is just showing you how you have to like open up and accept that it is. And then they can come in really powerfully. So it's our belief, if at first I'm like, I don't know if, again, it's orally, like, I don't know, is this information correct? But then the more we get confirmation from each other and like we work through it together, the information just starts coming. So I will say, he's just sending a lot of love. He's also showing something else. One sec. Okay, he's just, the way it's making me feel like he's putting hand on your heart. So like literally like the hand. So he's something about the hand, or placing the hand on the heart, or placing the hand on your heart. He wants to say that again. So he's like, he's feeling your heart. He's like, there's some kind of connection between the hand and the heart for you both, or like, he's like placing it right there. So just know that. He's also, okay, can I share more? I was just going to say, he's also saying how beautiful you are, and he does miss, but he sees it all the time, your beautiful face and the beauty that you have. He loves you very much. I'm getting a little emotional. He loves you very much. He's talking about swimming. So I don't know if, I guess summer's coming around, if like what's with the swimming, or it could be a memory that you have connected as well in regards to swimming. He's bringing up like the pool or swimming, and he's talking about a partner too. I guess it's your partner, or
The one that's about to get there.
right. No, like there's like, he's talking about a partner or a partnership.
Amazing.
And so that answers your question too, if they can relay information for us for like,
So he can help her with whatever.
right. So they do have information that holds, then the higher guides do come in, but they do have information that they can hold or first see for you, or want, or it could be something that's on your mind that he's wanting to like calm your soul about, in regards to, or a wish that he has for you. Right. Okay, and he's just bringing up all these things. I don't know, something about jeans, like literal, like blue jeans. So we can go into that to like why he's talking, but he's like talking. So was he also a talkative kind of person? Just curious. And because he feels like now he's like allowing himself to talk.
he was kind of just like Daniel, my son, who actually looks almost identical to him when he was now.
Daniel came after him, though, right?
Yeah, Daniel came after him. So kind of quiet, like when it's one-on-one,
Right.
it's fabulous.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, in crowd or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's just like, it's almost like the floodgates were opened
Right.
with him, where, it was like quietness, but then like you're saying in the one-on-one, it's like all of a sudden talkative, like wants to say a lot of things. Like I feel like there's a lot he wants to say, so I'll just say that.
You got to have a session.
Yeah.
When you're
It
ready,
feels like-
Orly, because that sounds heavy, too. Made me
yeah,
cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very, I'll see if there's anything else, and also I'll thank him and the guides for coming in. But he's talking about living life and enjoying every moment. There are experiences here that he wasn't able to experience, that he's wishing that you continue to live life fully and enjoy things and do the things that he, like, it's almost like for him. So when you're doing those things, you're like, he's living through you, and he doesn't want you to feel any sadness or pain, like as if there was a loss of some kind, because he actually gets to experience things in your eyes. So the happier you are, the happier he is, and the more fulfilled he feels. And he's just like laughing. So he just like wants you to laugh, be happy. He's like laughing, joking, enjoying life. He's like, he's even joking. He's like saying, what a dummy. Like, I don't even know why he's using that word. He's like, I was so dumb. Or like, there's something about him just being like stupid decision making. And he's like, but completely about enjoying life and traveling. So he's talking about all these things that are beautiful, and he's also bringing up, so this can be a sign for you as well. I don't know what it signified, but he's showing me a blue stone. It's almost like a sapphire, like a deep blue stone. So paying attention to that, I would now naturally ask you, like, what sign are you? Or like, why is he showing a blue? I know sapphire is September, but maybe there's a significance around there. And like, why would be, again, it's me interpreting the messaging, why I'm being shown that blue stone. I would have to go into it a little more because it has a few meanings. But he is showing this blue stone for you. So it's like a protective stone of some kind that can be for you. Yeah. I'll just what was his name? Bill. Okay. I'm just thanking him also, and thanking him for coming through, and definitely like we can continue talking. But he has a lot to say. I will just say, he has a lot to say. Like he doesn't want to let it go. I'm like, okay. I promise you, though. I promise him. I promise you that we'll continue.
Have you ever spoken to him before? Like, have you ever no psychic, no nothing about him?
No.
You need to do that.
Yeah.
I think you'll feel like a different person, too.
Yeah.
I can tell that it needs to come out. I think it'll be a huge blockage remover.
It's just a sadness.
For years.
Yeah. It's a really hard, I know with my father, the grieving of that loss, because he was such a big light in my life. I'm sure your brother was a huge light in yours. And it's like, also a lot of people are like, okay, we have to get over it, or there's a just grief and sadness that is still there, but I do feel like there's so much healing in this, in being able to hear from them, to process it, and to know that they are there, and there could be such a relief in the heart of knowing. It's so sad because we can't touch them anymore. We can't like hug them anymore. It's very sad when you want, especially if it was taken away sooner than, right? So, but we can still experience them here in a different way. It doesn't have to be gone forever. You can experience him in a different way, and I know he would love that. And I know my dad, it's hard. And that's why this is I think it helps us through the grief and through the pain of this, of losing someone,
Yeah, for sure.
because people keep it in them
Oh.
forever. And it
Especially if it's like something awful,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
murder, or like you don't have answers, you don't even know
Yeah.
how to grieve.
Yeah.
Or if you're mad, like he said, it was a stupid mistake, which I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
How many years ago?
It was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But, and for me, it's like I said, it's always just like right there on the surface.
Yeah.
And, I've had other people in my family that have passed away, but this one, like, just never changes.
Yeah. Because there was a deep love and a deep loss. There's just a deep love for him and this loss of life that is very saddening. I don't know other words to describe it, but, and it will always be sad. It's always going to feel. But when we can add the joy, blend it with that sadness, all of a sudden it becomes something else.
Yeah.
It's not just the sadness. It's all of a sudden like miraculous wonder, spectacular feeling of like feeling him around you. It's still sad. You'll still get teary-eyed. You'll still like be like the missing in the heart of them not being here.
But I would rather have the joy.
Me too.
What
Yeah.
Alicia can do when she talks about her parents, her mom and her dad. That she's been able to put bring the joy back.
A different circumstance, though, for yours. I mean, yours went in a way that there was no joy around it, Your dad, you loved him. He passed away. He was there for your children. Your brother was, like, stolen.
Yeah.
So I think that's a different healing and a different everything.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like that conversation should continue because I have been dear friends with you for quite some time and you never talk about that. So I know it like sits on you right here because I've talked to you about your father. We've talked about my mom and dad. So I know that that's just a thing you have not come to peace with and you must. So I feel like that has to be, which is what I love so much if you're a believer and then you find somebody like Orly that can connect you, that you must do that for your freedom, for your own freedom.
Yeah.
Because he's already gone. But I'm sure he has things to say to her, like you said, that he was never been able to say because he was taken.
Yeah. And also, I mean, this is the amazement of life when like, because I losing my dad too, wanting to have that connection stay and really wanting to believe that there is more and believing it more and more and then speaking to people and then bringing up their loved ones and knowing. And even now, like it's been a few years now. So even now, and some people are more open and so the connections are different, but I'm still amazed at the information, right? Yeah. So it's like there is no doubt. I don't know. The doubt, it needs to go.
You ditch the doubt.
Yeah, it's like it just and so once that belief is there, especially when there's significant pieces of information, so hopefully there'll be more for you to be like, okay, there is no more doubt in my mind.
Right.
It creates a new pathway for healing, for like a new way of creating the relationship, building it into something different for you to experience him a joy, like it's almost like going with that imaginary friend now in life and like him being a part of it, but it's just a different
to just get beyond
past, right? Beyond the sadness, because you're grieving it still and he's already on the other side. So I know for a fact that he just wants you to release the grief because it's gone. It's a loss for sure, but now you've been living these 30 years, but it's just about transforming it into something that's happy, more joyful. Just like you said with Alicia, like whatever thing we had, the relationships we had here that were difficult, or if we can then, especially I know that they will deliver messages that we need to hear specifically to alleviate the pain. A lot of people come back and are like, apologize.
Right.
They realize things on the other side. It's like, or they want to take the pain from someone or for their behavior because they realize how they were. So that's a lot of the messaging too.
Right.
But with you, I feel like it's just a love and this loss, and you've stayed with the grief and the loss, and he's like, come with me now. Let me pull you up, kind of like to fly together, and because I can definitely tell you, he doesn't feel heavy. There's no burden here. There's nothing like, he's not grieving his loss of life. He's actually understanding what happened. He's kind of come to an understanding, like he understands it.
Accepted.
What is. Yeah, accepted. And that also goes into the question, Alicia, that you asked about, the soul. Like, we can go to the cemetery and connect with this part that I'm connecting with now. For me, I'm still exploring this. Like, we have different parts of the soul because there is reincarnation as well. So it could be that already, I don't know. This is where some information that I receive, it's like, I don't like that. I want to learn it through my own experience, but definitely they live through us. That is for sure. So that's what I'm hearing.
I think that's awesome.
They
And
live
I also
through us. Yeah.
feel like if there is some part of you that hasn't forgiven, like, my son got in so much trouble after a long time, and I realized my parents, it wasn't their fault, of course, but they too had a little bit of the same kind of issues, and when I realized I was holding on to anger about that, so it took me a year and a few minutes to be able to realize, like, they lived the best they could. They did the best they could, they like to drink. What am I, that's who they were. As soon as I forgave them, something was lifted off of me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have to forgive him or just let go of, like, something awful happened to him and he's not free, because he is free.
Yeah, I don't really hold any blame. It's more
The sadness of his not
and,
being
and I
here.
think the brutalness too, brutal. You just think of what happened to him and you don't even know, and that is probably so painful.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it doesn't even matter anymore. You know what I mean? He's here. She doesn't get one bit of heavy from him.
Yeah.
That's all I know. You know what I mean? That you really need to know.
Yeah.
So my other question to you is, can you be one thing on earth and go to heaven and become a completely different thing? Or are you always that person? Are my parents up there drinking wine and smoking cigarettes? That's all I want to know. Still.
I think their soul essence is the same. So that vibrant, lively...
Party on, Mom and Dad.
Right. They're just the same. These are questions I still have that... One of the teachers I have was really beautiful. It's like, there are things, like, if we had all the answers, like, if I could, like, lower the veil and, like, know what it's like. This is the thing with the universe and the energies. Our mind can't comprehend it. Like, there are different timelines. Like, everything there is all at once, right? It's like, who knows if for the longest time I felt like we reincarnate, but it's just a part of the soul. But the other part, that's the higher self of them, still communicates with us. So they stay here communicating, but somehow the soul can reincarnate. Like, I don't know how we evolve in that way. Like, that I don't understand yet. But the essence of who you are definitely stays. And I know that we are here when we come into a human body. We're here to learn something new each time. So your parents probably love to party. They came here, had some kind of lesson through that. Next time they come around, maybe there'll be these spiritual teachers.
Or teach holders. I really do.
Like, there's something that they experience, and now they want to experience the other side of it. Like, this is our playground. Like, playing field. It's like we get to do whatever.
This is our garden.
Yeah.
This is our garden.
Yeah.
We
get to grow it, take out the weeds.
We can grow what we don't want. We boundary up what we do, borders.
But you know what the great thing is? If you're aware of it here and you don't let the garden just grow it.
Exactly.
But you, like, tend to the garden.
Maintenance
And keep it flourishing. And I don't know, like, whatever you find
flowing,
like with the divine, and then it becomes a Garden of Eden.
Exactly. That's the point. That's what we're trying to make here. Like, I don't want to wait till I'm dead to experience Eden.
Yeah.
Right? I need to know it now. So when I'm connected to people that can talk to that. If Dana can find out how to communicate with her brother on a regular basis, to
Yeah.
have him in the car with her driving.
Oh, I'm so happy you said that. See, that was a sign for me, what you just said, Alicia.
What was
She's
it?
so good. When I came here, I was like, I want to talk today about the thing where the Orly don't forget to talk about that they can be with you when you're driving. And you just said it, which is you had also asked. So I'm so happy. It was total a sign, because I knew that we would. I'm so happy this is just brought up now, because whenever you're like driving in your car, it's usually the time when you're alone.
Right.
If you put your hand and just know that he's there.
Well, he was in a car when it happened.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
throw that twist
I
in.
know. Like-
So wait, but what do we do? Put our hand?
No, but you can just have the sense that they're there and know that they're there with you actually in the car, and like put your hand down and be like, I know you're just talking to them,
Right.
and it brings them there and then to the experience, and maybe then something, sometimes you'll see someone who really resembles him, like when you're walking
My
down
son.
the, yeah,
Right.
or
I
well,
see it.
all the time, but that's really like every, but even when walking in the street, there's a reason why you're seeing a person who resembles them. They have different ways to communicate with us.
Right.
That's one of the ways. Or a song on the radio that comes up, right? It's if you listen to the words, it's relaying a message from him. So just think about that, when you're driving and like, and you can have him and ask that he come and be next to you, or place his hat or put something that was his next to you in
Right.
the car, like let's go for a ride. That really brings them to like be here.
Include them.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy amazing.
I mean, I definitely talk to my dad much more now out loud. And sometimes my kids, Seffi's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, I'm just talking to Abba, to Saba, It becomes normalized,
know.
and it's not like,
it's lovely.
yeah, so.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that you said that about the car.
Thank you
That's
so much.
I think you guys
I'm
have
like-
more work to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's-
On that note, let's fertilize it. Let's water it. And let's
Let's
keep
create
it
the Garden of
growing.
Eden. Oh my God, that's so. But
This is
that's
about the
it,
Garden of
because
Eden.
this is the Eden that is talked about in the Bible. That it can be here and now.
Right. This is the
like-
garden, and we are the gardeners.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And look at my what's his name.
He's
So
like,
in.
like
talking
this is
to my mom
heaven.
and dad.